I'm here genuinely to learn and to hear their points of view, give them an opportunity to send their message out. I'm not here to get into a fight. I'm not here to debate necessarily. I'm coming with a sincere intention to engage. I am quite interested as well as how they're managing their revision, their exams, and protesting against Israel at the same time. That is multitasking.
What we'll be able to see from our other cameraman is that there's an encampment here and there's another encampment a little bit further down as well. So, what's your initial impression of what we're seeing here in front of us, this encampment?
Well, I mean, this is the beautiful college of King's College. It has a very prominent place in the city of Cambridge, and it's on one of the main thoroughfares of the city, King's Parade, which is often, rain or shine, quite bustling. There's a lovely set of shops. I've got to say, it is unsightly. It doesn't do justice to the beautiful architecture of this college. And I am quite surprised that it's allowed to take place on college grounds, because traditionally you can't walk on the grass, let alone put a tent up on the grass. I don't know if those rules have changed since I was here, but it is quite surprising that the college authorities have allowed this kind of occupation to take place.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, there's quite a thorough job here, isn't it? They've got signs up saying divest now, and there's a lot of Palestinian flags, as you would expect. There are some individuals here. It might be worth just seeing whether or not they want to have a quick chat. Well, should I see if they fancy having a chat with you? Yeah?
Sure.
All right. Okay. Hello, guys. Could I just ask, do you fancy having a quick chat with Suella at all? No? Good. Might be a good opportunity to get your points across to someone. Any? No?
Okay, let's keep walking. Do
you want to ask them anything directly?
Well, very interested to find out their views, very keen to hear what their thoughts are on this issue, and keen to hear their message. What are you here protesting about?
Might not get a better opportunity than this to talk to someone.
What's your message to the Palestinian people? What's your message to Hamas? What's your message to Israel?
No? Okay, well, look, we can just keep walking, can't we? So we've got a couple of signs here. Let's have a look. So Cambridge Jews for Justice in Palestine is one of the signs there. What do you make of signs like that? Because there are signs like that out of a lot of these protests, you know?
Well, listen, I mean, it's a really emotive issue, and I appreciate there are strong views on, where people support the cause of the Palestinian people, and they believe that Palestinian people deserve a homeland and they deserve security. And I believe that, actually. I believe the Palestinian people deserve a homeland. I also believe the Israeli people have a right to their homeland and a right to live in peace and security. Right now, my view is that there's a very brutal conflict, because Israel is defending itself against a death cult called Hamas, which runs Palestine and which is intent on eradicating Jews in Israel from the face of the
Got a few people here. Now, quite often you'll see that they don't seem particularly intent on showing their faces. I don't know if you might be able to engage with people. Hello. Just wondering if you'd like to have any kind of discussion at all with Suella today.
Hi, I'm Suella. I'm keen to find out your views and what you're protesting about.
Nothing at all? No?
Interested in why you're covering your faces. Is it a COVID or a health measure? No comment.
No. Can I just ask, are you students at the university or just from around the area? Nothing? No? No, fine. Okay, interesting. Yeah. And what were you expecting? You know, did you think that maybe people might engage a little bit with you? To feel very strongly
Well, these are supposed to be some of the brightest and the best students in the land, and taught in the art of articulating their views and expressing arguments in a coherent way. And I'm interested in hearing their arguments.
Yeah? Anyone?
Engaging and listening.
What would be your main question to some of the individuals?
I'm really keen to hear what your message is to Israel.
No. Nothing.
Interested to hear your message to Hamas.
No comment. Okay.
Do you think the hostages should be released now?
Not really.
No.
Is there? No, hey, we keep walking.
Not very
Don't know if you
Not
would
very
like to have a quick chat with us,
conversant
sir, at all today?
Hi there.
Go on.
Very nice. I'm Suella. Can I ask you what your message is to Israel?
Yep.
Right. Can I ask you what your message is to Hamas? Silence.
Guys, anyone willing to just explain a couple of bits and bobs? What you guys are doing here, why it's so important to you, what the demands are, anything? No?
Vegan and nut fruit needed. Vegan and nut-free food
Oh, that's what it says.
is needed.
Right, well, there we go.
Morning, everybody. Hi, I'm Suella Braverman, MP. Here to inquire about what you're protesting about and give you an opportunity to send your message onto national television.
No? OK, all right. Well, it's fascinating, really, because I'd thought that maybe they would give some form of response or reaction. But
Yeah, I
but
thought they'd
people
have a
clearly
line.
feel so strongly about it.
Well, to go to all of this trouble to camp out, spend their time in the rain and the pretty miserable English weather,
Yeah.
and to maintain a vow of silence is intriguing. Listen, university should be a safe place. It should be a place for discussion and free debate. What I'm concerned about is, protesters shutting down other points of view. We can see here, people don't want to engage.
Yeah.
They don't want to discuss.
Hey, guys, could I just ask at all if you'd like to just ask a couple of basic questions? It's a really good opportunity to talk to a former Home Secretary.
It looks like a gimmick. It looks like a stunt.
Yeah.
Is it actually sincere?
I mean, you heard me asking to a couple of them there, look, are you actually students? And I am quite sceptical.
Wow.
I am quite sceptical as to whether or not they are. Just wondering if you might want to explain to us a little bit why this cause means so much to you and what's going on for you. Yeah. Just wondering if you'd like to have a quick chat at all, just about why this all means so much to you. Do you want to engage at all with anyone? Great opportunity here.
Silence. What's your message to Israel? No response.
I just wonder, when you tell your friends later that you had an opportunity to talk to Suella and they say, what did you do? And you turned your back. It says it's a liberated zone, so I don't know if you can see the sign there. So there's a sign there that says liberated zone.
Right, OK. Interesting. This is their idea of liberation.
Presumably.
Standing in the rain, getting wet, masks on, balaclavas. Oh, what did he say?
So he said...
What did he say?
Get out of our effing campus.
Oh, really? OK. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
Now, how does it make you feel? Because when you initially, you were very quick to call things hate marches. I know a lot of people completely agree with you about that, by the way. You must get quite a lot of stick sometimes when you walk around. I mean, that person just muttered it under his breath and then legged it. So how does it affect you? Does it bother you at all when people have those views about you?
Listen, I mean, there has been a very vitriolic response to me from some quarters, particularly in relation to the stance I've taken on the marches, and I still call them hate marches when you've got hundreds of thousands of people chanting anti-Semitic slogans, chanting jihad, where, they've crowded out other voices and Jewish people. I think that's hatred. It's not every single person, but there is a very strong element of hatred, and the police have arrested hundreds of people. You don't get into politics and you don't go into public life if you can't handle the heat. You don't take necessary, albeit uncomfortable positions if you're not ready for the pushback. And I'm here to tell the truth. I tried as Home Secretary to do that. I will constantly endeavour to do that as a politician. I'm put here in Parliament. It's a privilege, and I owe people the truth, however uncomfortable that may be for others. And it might not be popular with everybody. It might, in fact, upset or offend some people. But if it's the truth, I'm not going to resile from it.
There is a question that I'd actually always wanted to ask you, because I wondered if you did feel a little bit let down by the police in the early days of these protests, when they were, especially around London, because I know a lot of GBNews viewers and listeners were saying, look, come on, we've got to just stop this. We've got to nip this in the bud. And it felt like you were banging your head against a brick wall there. Was that what it was? Were you a bit disappointed?
That's a good way of putting it, Patrick. I mean, over the month of October, going into November, I was pulling my hair out, really, with these marches. They were getting bigger and more aggressive, and the marches were getting more emboldened. And the police were standing by and letting it happen. And, I would talk to the police a lot, trying to urge them to take a more robust stance, to arrest people who were breaking the law, whether it's scaling the war memorials, whether it was firing off flares, whether it was wearing face masks in breach of orders. They just wouldn't do it, and it was frustrating. And that's eventually why I couldn't stay in the role. I lost confidence in the police to properly police those marches, maintain public order and keep people safe. And I'm afraid there's still been a wholesale failure of policing when it comes to these marches.
As Israel does move into Rafah, that's going to be the next big issue for a lot of people who are camped out at places like this.
Yeah.
There is a lot of strong imagery coming out online about people, about death and destruction, especially involving children, etc. A lot of very emotive stuff. Does that Israeli military action become increasingly hard to justify? Because we're probably going to see them get more and more angry here.
Well, listen, all war is a tragedy. It reflects a failure of political process and diplomacy. And civilians dying in Gaza, Gazan civilians being killed, is a tragedy. There's no question about that. Equally tragic is the brutal attack on innocent Israeli civilians by Hamas on October the 7th. And unfortunately, the need for Israel to defend itself, because if it doesn't go into Rafah and eliminate Hamas, kill or arrest the senior Hamas leaders, release the hostages, then Hamas will just do this again to Israel. So they have no choice. And I support Israel in going into Rafah. And I'm disappointed that the UK government doesn't.
OK, so you actually think we should be stronger and be more vocal in our support for Israel going into Rafah?
I think Israel is on the right side of this debate to defend itself. And, Western democratic allies should be supporting Israel in her fight. But, when it comes to here, what I have been also disappointed by is the lack of robust and strong leadership. We've had the apologies. We've had the apologies for the apologies by the police. We've had the speeches on the steps of Downing Street by the Prime Minister, and nothing's changed. I know Jewish people who have left the United Kingdom because it's just not safe for them. They don't feel safe here anymore. So this problem's got out of control. There's been a failure to deal with it. And I really worry for the future of our social cohesion, our communities, our democratic discourse, freedom of speech, and mutual respect, because it's actually very harmful for a cohesive society.